Welcome to the E Cup Series Season 7. We're at the high-banked, high-speed mile-and-a-half oval here in North Texas. We're at Texas Motor Speedway for the final race before the championship cutoff. At the end of the day, the top 4 in points will move on to that championship race, and we're about to find out who they will be. So without further ado, let's head down to Raise to Hell for today's command.
Driver, start your engine!
And engines begin to rev up here at Texas as we have 25 drivers ready to take on this track. Let's look at our starting lineup. On the pole is Brad Keselowski. Outside of him is Kurt Busch. Then in row 2 we have Kevin Harvick and Carl Edwards, who currently holds one of those 4 spots. Then we have Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Matt Kenseth looking for good days today to get in. Jimmy Johnson's currently second in points, along with Trevor Bayne. Then we have Greg Biffle in the 16 and Casey Kane in the 5. Then we have Jamie McMurray and Tony Stewart, along with Chase Elliott in the 24, looking for a big day today, and Danica Patrick. And then we have Paul Menard in the 27 and Austin Dillon in the 3, along with Denny Hamlin in the 11 and points leader Kyle Busch in the 18. Then we have Eric Almirola and AJ Allmendinger, along with Joey Logano, who's currently 4th in points, and Kyle Larson, who's 6th. And then we have Ryan Newman in the 31 and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 17, and rounding out the field today is the 15 of Clint Boyer. So as you saw there, we have 25 cars as always. It's a 10-lap race around this racetrack today, and this is the final race before the championship. So a lot of people need to have big days. Let's see who's going to get it done. Green flag is in the air at Texas. We are underway. The field flies into 1 and 2. Keselowski opens up a lead. Carl Edwards with a big run on the outside goes from 4th up to 2nd. Harvick now looks to the inside of his teammate for the 3rd spot. Dale Jr. settles into 5th. Jr. slips up the racetrack a little bit there, opens the door for his teammate Jimmy Johnson as Brad Keselowski is going to lead the first lap here at Texas. Edwards trying to close that gap. He's in 2nd. Stewart Haas Racing teammates battling for 3rd as now Jimmy Johnson. Dale Earnhardt Jr. makes it 3 wide. He's going to go from 6th to 4th with a big run there on the inside. Jimmy Johnson to 5th. Up front, Edwards has closed up on Keselowski. He looks to the inside. He'll lead that lap as Carl Edwards now will take the lead. We got trouble in the front stretch. Look out. Big crash. Eric Almirola's on his roof. AJ Allmendinger's involved. And there's Austin Dillon sliding on the infield grass. And we have our first caution of the day here on lap number 3. And we had a good battle going on up front, but mid-pack, a big crash here. Let's see what happened. Looks like Dillon got a little loose off of 4. Maybe got a tap then from Kyle Busch. He spun right into Eric Almirola, who just caught air and flipped right over on top of AJ Allmendinger's car, rode across the top of the wall you saw there. Austin Dillon involved. 3 cars. All were mid-pack, all looking for good days to finish off this season. And that will not happen today, as everyone else is going to restart on lap number 5. Those 3 are in the garage early, and we should be ready for another good restart here at Texas. Green flag is in the air for Edwards. He just took lead from Keselowski. He leads this restart. Kevin Harvick right behind him. Keselowski now in 2nd. Jr. back in 4th. 3 wide there. Trevor Bayne making a big move on the outside around Kenseth and Johnson. Up front, Harvick's going to get around Brad Keselowski. Jr. trying to follow him past as Edwards tries to open up his lead here out of 4. Carl Edwards will lead lap number 5. We're on lap 6. Harvick trying to close the gap. A battle there for 3rd. Jr. is holding off Keselowski and Trevor Bayne. Jimmy Johnson lurking there in 6th. He's still looking for a good day to hold on to his points position as Carl Edwards trying to hold off Kevin Harvick, who's trying to come at him with a run. Harvick trying to race into that top 4 today. He comes into the day just a couple points outside of the cutoff. Edwards trying to hold his position. He comes into the day 3rd in points. He leads Harvick now as they head into 1 and 2. Harvick gives him a nudge. Edwards into the wall a little bit. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to take advantage and fly by both of them for the lead. Oh, now we got contact on the backstretch. Johnson hits the wall. He collides with Kurt Busch, Casey Kane, Tony Stewart, and Chase Elliott involved as well in the big crash here on the back straightaway involving Jimmy Johnson, who came into the day 2nd in points. This will more than likely knock him out of that top 4 in the points, and what a tough break for him. Let's see what happened. You saw Brad Keselowski got really sideways. Johnson was forced to the inside. Kenseth went below both of them, and Jimmy didn't know he was there. He spun off of his front bumper, hit the inside wall, collected Kurt Busch, who also came into the day 5th in points, looking for a big day to get into the top 4, and that's a really heartbreaking way to end this season for both Jimmy Johnson and Kurt Busch. Both of them had wins earlier this year, and neither of them are going to have anything to show for it. The rest of us will restart here on lap number 9. 2 to go. 300 cars were caught up in that crash, as well as 2 Stewart Haas cars. That's a tough break for all of them. Here are your current point standings. Kyle Busch easing it around. He's just hanging out mid-pack. Dale Jr. trying to race his way in. He's in a good position now, but he's going to try and finish it off here. Green flag is back in the air with 2 laps to go. Joey Logano making moves back in the pack. He's trying to do anything he can to get back up in it. Up front, Junior leads. Harvick gets sideways from second. That's going to allow Brad Keselowski to move into that position. Keselowski trying to make something happen here on the final restart. 3 wide now for fourth. Greg Biffle to the inside. Edwards on the outside. Harvick and Kenseth there as well. White flag is in the air here for Junior. He's trying to hold off Brad Keselowski and race his way in. Keselowski to the inside. He gives him a nudge. Junior's out of the groove. Brad Keselowski takes lead down the backstretch. Junior tries to get a run. They're blocking back and forth all over the place. Junior to the outside into 3 and 4. Here they come. Keselowski gets sideways. He spins. He collides with Biffle. Big crash in turn 4. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to drive away from it all and race his way into the final 4. Dale Jr. wins it at Texas. And a very dramatic final 2 laps there saw Brad Keselowski doing whatever he could to try and make something happen. He needed a lot to go right on that final restart, and he thought the best thing he could do was just try to win this race. He was driving aggressively, gave Junior a little bit of nudge. You see there into 1 and 2, and then down the backstretch, really aggressively blocking, trying to hold that lead as best he could, and hoped everything worked out behind him. But yeah, Dale Jr. then really squoze him here in 3 and 4. He was definitely probably irritated with all the blocking that Keselowski had done down the backstretch. Can't blame him for that. Brad just gets a little sideways, collides with Biffle, Bain. They're all able to finish with top 5 positions. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. is able to hold on to his race car and get the clutch victory here at Texas. His first win of the season, and he'll have a chance to race for a championship. Congratulations to Dale Earnhardt Jr. Let's look at our top 5. Thank you to all of the 88 team sponsors, as you see them all there. Kevin Harvick had a very good car today. He was able to recover from a poor restart and finish second. Good job for that 4 team. He will race his way into the final 4 as well. Greg Biffle with a strong run there in the 16. Trevor Bain there with a good run as well in the 6. A good day for Roush Fenway. They have a couple cars in the top 5. And Matt Kenseth finishes 5th. Not quite enough to make into that final 4. We're about to look at your point standings, but first let's look at the full results. Carl Edwards gets a strong 6th. Should be enough for him to race his way into the final 4. Big day for that team. McMurray with a 7th. Menard finishes 8th. Danica Patrick with a good top 10. And Joey Logano finishes 10th. Looks like that'll be a little too late for the 22 team. Kyle Busch just needed to have a solid day. Didn't need to have anything catastrophic happen. He finishes 12th. That'll be more than enough to get him into the final 4. And all these guys were caught up in wrecks as well as some of the others. A tough season for some of these guys, for sure. Here are your final point standings going into the final race. The 4 drivers you see there in yellow, Kyle Busch, Dale Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Carl Edwards will race for a championship in a couple of weeks. Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano, Jimmy Johnson, really heartbreaking finish for their seasons as they were all very close but just didn't have quite enough at the end. Needed a lot to happen in today's race, and most of it did not come true for them. So tough break for those guys, especially Jimmy Johnson and Kurt Busch, who came today with really high hopes and got caught up in that wreck midway through. That was a really tough break for them. Good season for a lot of these guys. Even some of these people here towards the bottom, it managed to get wins like Stenhouse or Almirola, so still a very successful year for those teams, in my opinion. Thank you all for watching so much. I hope you enjoyed today's race from Texas. If you haven't already, please follow me on Twitter at DECS Racing for behind-the-scenes stuff and all things NASCAR and sports and whatnot. And the EE Cup Series Season 7 finale will be from Daytona in just a couple weeks. I hope you stay tuned and look forward to that. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time.